Hello to everyone watching today's webinar with the MOV Chamber of Commerce. I am Jill Parsons, the President and CEO of the Chamber of Commerce of the Mid-Ohio Valley. Joining us today is Jennifer Randolph. Many of you may have worked with Jennifer over the years at WVU Parkersburg, but today she joins us in a new role. I'm happy to share that Jennifer is now the Apprenticeship Coordinator for the AIM grant with the West Virginia Council for Community and Technical College Education. Welcome, Jennifer.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So AIM is a new abbreviation that people may not be familiar with. So let's share with the viewers what that stands for. I'm going to share my screen here. I'm going to share my screen. There we go.
Okay, so AIM is Apprenticeships in Motion. So apprenticeships, the word apprenticeships has become more popular now. They're starting to use that word more. Some people will say, internships. So really, though, that's what West Virginia is pushing for right now is this. So it's Apprenticeships in Motion is what the AIM stands for.
So can you tell us about the AIM grant and then your role as the Apprenticeship Coordinator?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. So this grant is something that West Virginia Community and Technical College System got from the DOL. They want to improve the IT industry in the state of West Virginia. So that's really the focus, the industry of focus for this grant. And so my role is an apprenticeship coordinator. So there's 4 apprenticeship coordinators under this grant in the state. And each one of us have we're assigned to different colleges. So I cover the West Virginia University at Parkersburg region, as well as Bridge Valley, which is in Charleston, Kanawha County area. So anyway, anybody in the state, in any region could tap into this grant. So if you were at Pierpont or Northern, if there was a company there, there is an apprenticeship coordinator in that region that could work with that company and connect them with the college and the workforce division at that college.
Very good. So apprenticeships are most frequently associated in the union and construction trade. So how are these apprenticeships different?
Yeah, so that's one of the things that I've kind of been aware of since we've started using the word apprenticeship, because for such a long time, U.S. history, we've had, like I said, very, very strong apprenticeships in the construction trades and, union and everything. So when I say apprenticeships, that's usually the first thing people think of. They don't think about an apprenticeship being in IT. Other countries, though, they use apprenticeships in all industries, and really, that's what it is. So apprenticeships, really, there's 5 hallmarks of apprenticeship, and because this model meets those 5 points, so one's employer involvement, they're structured on the job training, related training and instruction, rewards for skills gained, and then a national occupational credential. So those are the 5 things that this grant also meets. So the difference basically is that these can be industry recognized apprenticeships, or sometimes they call them IRAPs. So registered apprenticeships are the RAs, and those are through the DOL. But these are industry recognized apprenticeships, and they're not through the government in that way.
So why the focus on information technology, on IT for these types of apprenticeships?
Well, and I took this on and I was kind of excited about it. I have no IT. I mean, I know how to use a computer and how to make it work for me. But as far as IT knowledge, I don't personally have those skills, but I'm very fascinated by people that do. And I know that our state definitely, needs those people. And I think that was the intention of going after this grant, is because, West Virginia has a strong future in IT. And I applied for this position right before COVID came along. So it's really changed the landscape of, our projection of what the IT industry is going to look like. And a lot of us, no one really, maybe you heard of Zoom, maybe not. And then now it's kind of, the pandemic pushed us off into the deep end, and we've had to embrace it. So, it's affected things both, negatively and positively. So as far as the IT industry, I think that the current state of the world and everything, I think that it's only going to make the IT industry stronger. So there's a great future in that, and there's a lot of opportunities in the state, and we just really want to, work with our students and prepare our students for those, gainful employment roles.
Great. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, work from home, WFH, people weren't using those initials and acronyms before, and you're exactly right. It is a whole new landscape. And even IT professionals are working from home now to help all of us who are trying to figure out how to work from home and convert to that. And I have a feeling that a lot more people in the future are still going to be working from home even when they can go back to the workplace.
Exactly. You don't need the space necessarily anymore. So we've kind of learned what we're capable of. Not intentionally, but
yeah, thanks to the IT professionals in the future ones. So let me share my screen again, because I'd like to hear from you about what does the assistance from the grant provide, both to the employer and to the apprentice.
Okay.
Go back to that. Okay.
So I like to try to make things simple. And so this helped me too when I was learning about this grant and how things work. So I think of this as two different funding tracks. So to start off, many people maybe listening to this have heard of Learn and Earn through the state system, or they may even have participated in it. But Learn and Earn is something that the community and technical college system has had for many years. And this is a grant through the state that can help pay 50% of the wages. And I'm happy that I have a job that I can call employers and tell them that take an apprentice, we're going to be able to help you with that. We want you to find that an attractive option. So the Learn and Earn model is really rolled into this. There was, a minimum wage under the regular Learn and Earn was $10. Through the AIM, with the IT occupations, the minimum wage is $12. And so, but employers are happy to pay up to, 16 or more, because really they're paying less than minimum wage still. So that makes sense for them, and they're able to attract, quality candidates and pay the students well. So the other benefit to this model of the Learn and Earn is the tuition aid. So there is the potential that students could receive some tuition aid if they participate in this program, depending on their financial situation, and they would work with financial aid on that and everything. So that's the one side of things. So if there's a company out there that's thinking, I could use some extra IT help, we need to get somebody in here, or we've had some take as many as 6 interns out of the program. So for West Virginia University at Parkersburg, there's the computer science program, and then there's the computer information technology. So those are both the 2-year associate degree programs. So the other side of it then is the incumbent worker side. And so this is really focused more on small businesses. So if you have, like under 50 employees, this wage supplement could come into place. So it really depends on the number of employees, but for smaller businesses, there is that extra support. So that person could be, help pay for that person's wage while they're in training. So, if an employer had a staff of IT people and they want to bid on a job, but they need to have, credentials in some sort of IT, I don't even know the words. Like Cisco, these are words that I've heard. I have no idea. But, if they need training to get their current staff credentialed in some way, either to move up in a position or to gain a higher wage, they would want to, possibly work with our Workforce and Economic Development Division, which Michelle Wilson, many people have worked with her. So her division here at WP, and there is customized training. So, that whatever they need, if we have the faculty to teach it, then we can help with that. If we don't, they can contract and find the person that can teach that. And so then the other portion of that funding can come from Governor's Guaranteed Workforce Funds, which is through the West Virginia Development Office. So
Very
that's
good.
kind of like the quick run through.
Yeah, and to make people aware that these are opportunities out there, that these funding sources do exist. And for businesses, they might be thinking, you know what, I'm not a computer company, so why would I want to pursue this? But if you use computers in your workforce, or if you have a singular employee that oversees all the technology in your organization, maybe they're thinking about retiring, and you might want to train somebody to backfill that position, or to add to, because you realize this way of technology, just like Jennifer said, is not going away anytime soon. And West Virginia is poised to take advantage of this. So great opportunities for really any scale of business to be thinking about information technology as a career path in your organization. Yeah.
This doesn't have to be limited to IT companies. You know, it can be anybody, even if you have like an office manager who's, you know, needs to be trained in something, you know, an IT credential, anything from hospitals to, you know, 3-person IT service companies, you know, so we help, there's no really limit there. But yeah, so it has to end up in an IT credential. And that's the hope, is that they'll train their current staff to be able to move up and fill those higher positions. And then you can also take advantage of the learn and earn and backfill with these apprentices. And we've seen that it creates this loyalty and it helps you retain. And it's really, the learn and earn is a really great way to kind of, you know, you don't have to have a total commitment. You can hire the student, and if it works out, great, you know, then you've kind of given them a very long year-long interview.
Yeah, it's a trial period in some respects. So they're learning their skills and their tools that they need in that position. They're also learning about that future potential employer. You're learning about them as a future employee, and you're exactly right. It is a year-long trial and error possibility to get to know that organization. And I think from my own experience, you know, having interns in your organization, or apprenticeships in this case, when openings do allow, how great you've already had somebody that knows your organization, that knows all the moving parts and the people and your processes, and to be able to pretty much on day one, you know, the real day one of being a full-time employee, how much knowledge they already have, and you're so far ahead of the curve. So Jennifer, who qualifies for this? What type of businesses and individuals, who qualifies to participate?
Well, again, so on the participant side, you know, they would have to be enrolled in a program on the learn and earn side, they'd have to be enrolled in a community and technical college program, one of the community technical colleges in the state. So here locally, of course, WVUP. So they would want to, and, you know, so think about, I mean, right now, if you're thinking about a career path, you know, you could enroll in the CIT program, and then you could possibly be employed next year, you know, the next year into the second year of the program. And that's what's really great, because it really is learning and earning. I mean, they're making, like I said, some of them are making, you know, around $16 an hour. And if I was back when I was an intern, you know, that would have been very attractive to me. So that's really awesome that we get to provide these younger, you know, students, or really just anybody trying to get themselves through a program like that with that kind of a wage. And like I said, the experience they get is just absolutely invaluable. So that would be really it for the student. Of course, it's a competitive internship or apprenticeship as well. You know, they'd still have to interview with the company and be selected and everything. And then so on the incumbent worker side, they would obviously already have to be, so that was really kind of more generated from the employer. You know, they have to already be employed at that company, the company that wants the training for their people. So as far as the employer side of things, like I said before, there's really no limit on, you know, your industry of focus. Like I said, anything from hospitals to, you know, 3-man offices for IT, you know, support. So as long as it's a West Virginia, you know, company. And like I said, if you're under 50, you get additional assistance in the wage supplement.
So who qualifies, or if someone is interested, how should they contact you and reach out to you?
So on the participant side, if that's something that they're interested in, they should definitely contact WVP, talk about, the computer science or the computer information technology programs, and, schedule a visit through the college. But employers that are interested, I would welcome them to contact me. I'd, love to work with them. What I typically do is, I answer as many questions as I can with my initial communication with the employer. And then I'll schedule, Zoom is we've been doing everything, but I will schedule a Zoom with the interested employer and then the staff here at the workforce division at WP to really talk about what their needs are and then how the college can help solve those needs, and then how AIM can help, provide the funding for them to be able to do that.
Very good. Well, I have included all of Jennifer's information here on the last slide. We will include that also in the links with this video when we post this on our Facebook and our YouTube channel. But Jennifer, thank you so much for your time today. Is there any other final thoughts that we want to share with folks today before we close up our session?
No, just like I said before, this is a good time, to get that extra help with what's going on in the world. And I'm just happy that, I get to work for, West Virginia Community and Technical College System and provide this. And then I've, obviously WP's near and dear to my heart, been there for several years. So the fact that I actually still get to physically be here and assist in promoting an industry and a degree in an industry that I really believe in for the future of our students in the state is really exciting work. So I'm looking forward to working with any employers that would love to, get this kind of help and provide this kind of opportunity to the students.
Well, I have to say, to anybody who's watching, Jennifer is a great resource, and so she has such a great wealth of knowledge and knows so many organizations, knows so much about her organization and WVUP to make those connections for you. So anytime that you have any questions, if you think this might be an opportunity for you to pursue, please reach out to Jennifer. And if it turns out that there's another solution for you, she's going to know about it and get you pointed in the right direction. So again, want to thank you so much for your time today to share this information with our chamber members and the Mid-Ohio Valley community at large and potential students. And we sure appreciate your time. Thank you so much, Jennifer.
This is really cool. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.